6 weeks ago, the bank launched 2 new features, POP Save and POP Insure. Today, we will talk about these new features with our guests. So, how have customers' expectations and behaviors evolved with the rise of digital banking?
So, Guillaume, if I'm to be honest, customer expectations or needs haven't changed. They still want great products. They still want great experiences, typically through speed, ease, and convenience. And they still want recognition for their loyalty, right? None of that has changed. But what digital has done is transformed how you deliver that. If you talk about products, now you've got pretty much all the products that you could want from financial services on the phone. So you're not having to queue up, you're not having to go to the branches. Digital also allows you to individually tailor a product rather than have a mass product for everyone. It also allows you to be able to bank on the go at any instant, so it gives you speed, ease, and convenience. And done correctly, the personalization and the speed, ease, and convenience can actually enhance loyalty. You can recognize them much better. So the way I would say is digital has kind of fast-tracked and transformed how we deliver banking, but not change the core need for banking.
So it's easier for you to retain your clients.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell me, what are the emerging trends in the field of digital banking in Mauritius, and what are the prospects for the future?
Yeah, so that's true that Bank of Mauritius and Mauritius in general is trying, I would say, to catch up and to develop all what is related to digital. And there are a few things which are cooking right now, and that will be available for banks. So what we try is to work hand in hand with BOM and try to leverage on these opportunities. So I will talk about 2. The first one is coming very soon. It's about the centralized KYC. So the centralized KYC, will allow everybody, upon the consent, of course you have to agree with that, but if you agree, you will not need anymore to bring papers to the bank to open an account. So you will give your consent, and the bank will be allowed to extract your proof of address, your picture of your ID, whatever information that usually the bank asks for will be available from the national databases in full security and under a strict framework, of course. That's one, and this can change because no need anymore to go to a branch. Everybody can open accounts digitally. So that's one.
And I think what that will do is we will very soon see the advent of instant account opening. If you're fully connected, if all your kind of like information's on the national databases, you could actually open an account in a matter of minutes going forward.
Absolutely. Whereas it took several days usually before to benefit from your account. And the second one is still, a big word and a lot of talks around that. That is the CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency, the e-rupee. So a lot of countries are working on these pilots or projects or even reflection. In India, for example, you have both the equivalent of instant payment and CBDC going live, and authorities are looking at how does it develop. The principle is that instead of having banknotes or coins, you have a digital equivalent of that. I can exchange with you, you can pay your merchant, you can give your kid, your maid, whoever, you can give this CBDC much more easily than if you were to have a transfer from account to account. That's the principle. Still, I would say the way it's going to be implemented in Mauritius is not fully clear. Few decisions have been made, but the real use cases have not yet been defined. And as of now, there is, after working with the banks, today there is a public survey that is ongoing. And from there on, there will be again discussions between Bank of Mauritius and the banks, and to make a decision on how we are going to use that. And that should be around November this year. So, but you know, so many opportunities that you can feel behind that. We'll see. We'll try to use what we can.
Yeah, and you know, the government has a vision of a cashless society. For us to get to that place, the digital rupee or the CBDC is a fundamental tool. If we can enable that in an effective manner, that is how you will get to a cashless society.
So how do banks react to that project of digital currency?
So, look, the digital currency as it's being designed doesn't disintermediate banks, but it actually significantly streamlines the ability of financial institutions to be able to facilitate the transfer of value of money. So it's actually very welcome, and it's a key building block to then continue innovating on further kind of like ways to be able to make finances easier. There's one other third one that I'll talk about, which is not necessarily Mauritius specific. It's still a little bit nebulous, but I'm very excited by it. And that is the advent of generative AI, ChatGPT and the likes. I absolutely see a use case, hopefully soon, that we would love to pilot, where imagine a world where if a customer calls a contact center, the contact center agent has 10 different screens open to try and see all the data to be able to answer the customer, right? What generative AI could do is actually listen and translate what the customer is saying and actually open that one screen that will solve it. And the other thing that happens always in contact centers is things like you have to then write down a summary of the conversation you've had with the client. Well, you don't have to. ChatGPT or whatever tool you use could do that summary for you. So the contact center agent can focus the time and energy on listening to the customer, solving the need, and not worry about which screen do I have to go, I have to write the notes. I think it can transform the experience we deliver. And that's just one example. There's so many other use cases. So I'm very excited about the future of banking in digital world.
What would you like as a banking consumer?
Yeah.
As you said, I want it to be streamlined. I want to save time. I want to save headache with all the administrative paperwork and you see. That's it. I mean, we don't need
it's
much.
not rocket science.
Yeah, right? Yeah, as you say, it's not rocket science.
And when would you like to go to a banking branch? Never. Sometime?
If possible, never.
Never.
Yeah. I say it's so much easier to get everything on your phone.
Absolutely.
Just do it in a couple of minutes and that's it.
And last question, and what about getting advice for your project? You want to invest in a house or you want to prepare the future of your kid?
For that kind of issue, we definitely need still that physical contact.
Yeah.
We need someone with expertise to counsel us for this kind. So tell us more about the launch of POP by Bank One and the new features, POP Save and POP Insure.
Yes, Guillaume. So it will be easy for me because I love POP. Really. It's a nice succession of firsts. So it was the first delivery in September 2021 of an app that is totally open for everybody. Any Mauritian can use POP by linking any banking account. So CBS, SBM, whatever, you can use POP. That was the first. Then in 2022, we had a succession of deliveries, like we were the first app allowing NFC payments from a smartphone to a smartphone, Android smartphones, or from a smartphone to a PlayStation, a kind of POS from Linux. Then we had also something that was very, very important, is the digital registration. Previously, you had to go to some stands and have physical interaction to register. Starting from there, in your home, with your ID, you could register immediately and use immediately. And then the last one was due to our partnership with MIPS. We had the integration where from the PlayStation kind of phone, you display a POP QR code And the merchant can be paid by anybody, by Pop, Shoes, Blink, Mighty. A perfect solution for the merchant. Then this year, since then, so 6 weeks ago, we launched Pop Save. I think Bhavya will explain all the advantages of that. And now we have also another feature that is Pop Insure, but that is more on a soft launch mode that has not yet been officially, publicly launched with all the marketing. Bhavya,
and to be honest, I am really excited about Pop Save and Pop Insure. I think they create a real unique differentiation that just doesn't exist. So let me talk about both of them. So firstly, Pop Save. The idea behind it was that millennials, Gen Zs, they all know that they must save. But the current lifestyle is such that they find it really hard to save, right? So we wanted to find a way to automate that, streamline that, so it's almost invisible. That's where Pop Save came in, is you set a few rules and you live your normal life. And as you live your normal life, slowly, you start saving without even feeling the pinch of it. So that by the end of it, you realize whatever goal, hopes, dreams, ambitions you had, you've actually achieved it because you've got the savings. So I think it can really help what right now is a big problem in the industry, which is people over leverage, buy now, pay later, and taking a loan for everything. It's a big problem in society, and Pop Save can almost reverse that. So we're very excited by that. And Pop Insure, which is now in beta mode, is actually going to transform how Mauritians buy insurance. You don't need to any longer call multiple brokers or visit offices to get the deals, to then yourself try and compare which deal is better and then do all the paperwork to apply for it. None of that. It's all been digitized. It is the first insurance marketplace for Mauritius, where you go in and you essentially, very simply, in a few minutes, write down what you need. Are you looking for travel insurance, motor insurance, life insurance, whatever? Answer a few questions. We have then created a series of insurance partners. We will then get the best deals. So you, on the Pop app, have all the options in one place. You can compare, contrast, and apply. So we're very excited. I think this really transforms how people do banking.
As you said, you have several partners on the app Pop Insure. Were they thrilled with that kind of project, as it did not exist?
Yeah, so I think it's a mixed kind of like, they're excited by the idea of it, but because it's new, there's a degree of nervousness around, well, do we have the systems, the technology and the processes to cope with it? I think the insurance companies definitely will thrive with it. The people, if I'm to be honest, who might feel a little bit more threatened are the middlemen, the brokers, because we've now digitized all of it.
Thank you, Bhavya. Thank you, Eric. Thank you for watching. See you for the next episode of Deep Dive.